Everybody, welcome to L.I.N.K Live. My name is Marina Mayer, Editor-in-Chief of Food Logistics and Supply and Demand Chain Executive.
Hi, and I'm Brielle Jekyll. I'm the Associate Editor.
And yes, we are missing McKenna today. She is on vacation. So McKenna, if you are watching, hopefully you are having a horrible time. I'm totally joking. Maybe a little bit. But today we are talking about how Brexit will affect supply and demand. And before we dive into that, I want to just send a quick congratulations to all of the winners of this year's Top Green Providers and Top Supply Chain Projects. You can learn more about those winners at foodlogistics.com and sccexec.com. Also, today is International Women in Engineering Day. So thank you to all of the female engineers in our industry, which reminds me, nominations are still open for our Women in Supply Chain Award. So yes, that includes you engineers. So get those submissions in. So back to Brexit. I have a lot of stats here that I was looking online about because I'm familiar with it, but then not as much as I probably should be. So according to a Deloitte study, Brexit will require an overhaul of all supply chain processes. That's everything from planning, stock levels, supply chain optimization, and supply chain operations. And I think this, I kind of liken it to, President Biden's 100-day supply chain review. It's going to just require this full review of all supply chain processes. I went to sccexec.com and I did a quick search, just search Brexit. You'll find a good amount of expert columns and articles on this topic. We had one author suggested implementing third-party merchant of record services to help streamline international expansion. For U.S. supply chains, Brexit could optimize and streamline supply chain beyond borders, which is enforcing multi-party collaboration and real-time visibility. However, not everyone in the supply chain industry is backing Brexit, which I've learned. A C.H. Robinson blog states that some carriers may pull out from transporting goods to and from the UK. This includes your parcel providers. And this right here will impact the supply chain, which is already and still experiencing bottlenecks between the pandemic and port restraints and driver shortage and more. Brexit could also further compound transport at the borders. This means more paperwork, more red tape. It means laws and regulations continuously changing. This will all eventually slow down the process at the border. Also on sccexec.com, I found an Avetta survey where it says nearly 1/3 of survey respondents anticipate changes in documentation and administrative processes. 16% anticipate sales revenue, 11% on market and sector competition, and 10% on hiring permanent staff in accordance with Brexit. So that's like the weird thing with this. Like some people are really for it and some people are really against it for a variety of different reasons. But at the end of the day, I kind of compare it to what's going on in the U.S. with all these reviews and all these executive orders that President Biden is enforcing. So, Brielle, I'm going to pass things over to you, kind of get your insight on the topic.
Well, yeah, it's definitely an interesting time, and it's important. We're talking about it today, and it's in the news today because coming up on July 1st is when all of these new regulations will be actually in place. So obviously, it's going to be more expensive to ship things in and out of the UK due to new tariffs. And like you said, there's definitely going to be delays at the border. Some retailers are looking to bring operations into the UK and nearshoring a little bit. But then you have others who are just completely leaving the UK. And it's not just retailers and companies. Some say that drivers are even leaving the UK due to the uncertainty, because no one knows how citizenship is going to go and how working and traveling in and out of the UK is going to take place after this. We have a lot of expectations and kind of ideas of how this is going to happen. A lot of experts can predict as much as they want, but we really don't know what's going to happen until it actually does. We saw that with the pandemic. We predicted a lot of things about the pandemic, and we just never knew which way was up. So it's definitely an uncertainty in the region right now. So it will likely exacerbate the driver shortage even more, and there could be even more delays, especially right now because we're still seeing so many repercussions from the COVID pandemic in terms of shortages and delays. So in the UK, this might be an even bigger problem now that Brexit is fully happening. Retailers and logistic partners both need to study the new laws and regulations that exist now that are going into effect. businesses will need to register to get access to the EU marketplace. And a lot of people are calling for a shorter supply chain, which is something we've heard all around the world for years now, that we're trying to shorten the supply chain since we kind of went so long. And that's definitely a problem that we're seeing in every aspect, in every industry, throughout any disruption. You know, it's the Suez Canal disruption, it's COVID, it's all of these things. The length of globalization that we have gone to has definitely exacerbated these disruptions a lot more. So a lot of people are calling for, you know, UK manufacturing and retail to be shortened a little bit, so we can kind of measure that a little bit better. But yeah, like I said, it's just going to be very. We'll see how it goes.
Well, and I think you bring up a good point with the driver shortage, because, you know, a lot of the driver shortage that we're experiencing in the United States is a compound of, you know, the drivers aging out, but also newcomers not entering the market. And so when you're in a Brexit situation where you're putting all this additional red tape, you know, it's making it harder for these companies to hire and retain talent, because there's so much going on that is in addition to, you know, already things that they're trying to deal with. And so that's going to be a continuous problem that's just, I feel like, is just going to keep compounding. And then you have to deal with what's going on in our nation, trying to get into their borders and stuff. And it's it's just going to be, like you said, we don't know how it's going to work out, but I would like to believe that hopefully the supply chain survives on the other side for them, hopefully. So good information. Thank you for your time. For those of you watching, thank you for being a part of our show today. You can go to foodlogistics.com and scexec.com at any time. Check out our new navigation bars. We're very excited. And you can search for Brexit information there, because we have a lot of columns and a lot of information, and a lot of supply chain news you can use in general. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central.